Okay, there are three really important enhancements that you can do. And so let me go through those because it's important to learn them. One is this on the VAR sheet itself, as you know, it's mixing and matching the wording as it goes through and generates each page. And so, as far as you're concerned, it randomly selects from one of these to another, to another, to another, to another, and that's the way that goes. There are times that you want it not to go randomly, but to go top down every time, especially if something matches something else. You have three of these and three of those, or maybe eight of these and eight of those, whatever it is. Maybe you want them to match. Even if you want this to match something way over here, you might still want it to match. For one reason, could be keyword density. You might want to say marketing system. Well, every time it says something like marketing system, you don't want it to go mixing and matching this part maybe. Maybe you want it to be marketing system, advertising process. And that's very possible. And so it's a question of what you're trying to accomplish, but you can do that. And so one way to do that, if you want it to go top down and start over with a particular column every time, this will work for any columns in any order all the way across the page. You can do this anywhere you want. And here's what you do. You just put simple brackets, just regular brackets like that around here. Don't include a space, not before, not after, not in the middle, no space at the end. No space at the beginning, no space on the inside, no space here, and no space there. Okay? Just make sure you get it just normal, like that, all one word, brackets around it. And what it means is whenever it goes processing pages, even if it does 1,000, the first page will use that, the next page will use that, the next page will use that, and then the fourth page will start over with this because it ran out of options. And so it'll be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? Now, that means if I need this column to match this one over here, then I do the exact same thing here. Okay? And that way, every time it creates a page, this will be the first, then this will be on the second page, and it will match. That will be on the third, and it will match. And so one reason to do that again is keyword density. And so you may have several of these with brackets around them because you're trying to maintain the exact same keyword density the entire time. As we said, the software doesn't limit you. And so even things like keyword density is something you can control word by word. And that's very cool. Another example of usage would be something like this. Let me insert. Let's say I had another var and I could call it anything I want. I can just create vars as long as the number is unique, and doesn't already exist on the CSV file somewhere. And I could just do a quick search, Control F, and I might want to find var 876 and just aha, there is one. That's what I needed to see. So I would know not to make that. So what can I find? 73 then 76. That means 874 is open because I haven't created one. So let me use 874. Yes, you can have them completely out of order. It does not matter at all. So if 874 is a city-state list like Chicago, Illinois, and then the next one is Atlanta, Georgia, with or without commas doesn't matter at all, then this can go down 30,000 entries. If I want to make sure to create one page for every single city, again, I can use these brackets. That way, if it's going to go down, if you tell it to do 30,000 web pages because you have 30,000 cities, and we provide a city state list for you that has all the cities in the US by state. So you can do it by state or by the entire nation, whatever. And the whole thing is like 32,000 something deep, cities deep. Then you can create a separate web page for every single city in the US if you want by generating 32,000 pages. If you go 64,000 pages, it'll go all the way down, start over, and keep going until it runs out of pages. And so it'll have 2 pages for every city. You can go further. But the point there is that now you're creating competitive pages for every city in the US. There's something kind of magical about geo targeting, and that's that Google likes to show local results first. So, for instance, if I'm in Seattle, Washington, and I do a search for hotels or restaurants, I will tend to see results for Seattle, Washington because Google knows where I am. If you're in Chicago and you're doing a search for hotels or restaurants, then Google will tend to show you restaurants there in Chicago. How does it know which restaurants are in Chicago and which are in Seattle? By the fact that the websites have Seattle, Washington, or Chicago, Illinois somewhere on there. It's a way of letting Google know. So Google looks for things like this on websites to understand what's being serviced, geo geo related. And so if it sees such wording, then you have a greater chance of outbidding your competitors in that city than your competitors because your web page is speaking to people in that city where your competitors may just have a nationwide campaign with no particular city listings whatsoever on their website. And so you get to compete higher in every city individually against the other competitors in those cities. And that's a way to canvas the entire nation where you do it strategically one city at a time all the way. So that's a very strong use, and that's one reason to use brackets. Okay, another one, and I'll just show you. If I wanted to do, oh, what else have I got? I got var 1 and var 2, since I never created those, so I can do those also. Another one is for backlinking. That is, you're going to put backlinks at the bottom of the web page in the footer or some such thing. And we showed the example of that before. And I'll just give you a really clear one right now because there's so many websites doing this. If I did even the info about, right? Okay. And you see this website down here. Here's a backlink. It says Los Angeles Alternative Energy, and it points to a website. You can see it down here that does not belong to this website. It's a different website. So here you go. It's a backlink for that website. Now the guy created all these backlinks with all these different city names. So right now he's not showing up for any of them. Well, I can't say that. I can say he's not showing up for Los Angeles Alternative Energy on the front page because this is a relatively new run, and he only has maybe one or two or three or four backlinks that say Los Angeles. Now, Google can eventually give him alternative energy, but that's an extremely competitive keyword. It might take him 3 to 6 months to win alternative energy because everyone's competing for it. I mean, he has a tremendous number of competitors. As a matter of fact, if we try to get a sense of just how competitive the word is, again, here we go. And I'm sure you know what to expect. Energy. And what do we have? 260 million results, and many of them, of course, are huge companies. Okay, so it's going to take a while for a small website to earn the front page for something so absolutely huge. He may have a lot of trouble doing it, so he's going after it one city at a time, which definitely helps him. And he may not be showing up for Los Angeles Alternative Energy yet, or he might. Depends on how many backlinks he has that say Los Angeles Alternative Energy. How would you set this up on your VAR sheet, by the way? This is how you would do it. Maybe that's going to be your keyword for your backlink, and it would be Los Angeles Alternative Energy, something like that. And it would point at what web page? That's the next question. So if I just go, I'll get the web page, and here I have it. And so I can put it right here. And if that did light up like a hyperlink, then I would want to right click on it and remove the hyperlink. This is supposed to be a CSV file. It's not supposed to have hyperlinks, but it'll put the link in there, you know. So this works only if I have these VARs on the index page, right? They have to be in there somewhere. Somewhere I have to have var 874 as a token. They got to show up looking like tokens. So I might do something like this. Maybe in the page title, just to give a simple idea. I might say var, what was that, 874, right? I might do something like this. var 874 for residents, and that way I'm speaking to people in that city state. Okay, saying TFAN Online Marketing Solutions or whatever it is. File save. Now down at the very bottom where I had my sitemap link, P-Align Center, I could continue. I could put more links in. So before or after this one, I might want to put in some more links just to copy, just to get in some of those, or one or more backlinks to other sites. And so an example of doing that would be like this. What would that be? The href would be what? It would be that var, what was that? var2. Is that correct? Yeah, var2. And then the keyword would be var1. So where it's trying to say the verbiage, I just want it to say var1. Okay? And that's very cool. Now, and of course between these links I want to put some artificial spaces. So let me do my ampersand NBSP semicolon space ampersand NBSP semicolon. And if I really want, I can do the pipe and then I can continue with it so that I get this like reasonable separation. All right, Control C. Degree of separation. That looks reasonable. Now I could put in more links than just that. I can have more. I can create a var2, I can create a var3, var5 since var4 is already taken. And so if I created them, I could put in yet another backlink. Okay? But anyway, if I had different keywords pointing at different websites, then of course, whenever it puts the combination in, I want to make sure it matches. That's what I'm saying. It could very well be the case. And with that in mind, I want this, right, on both of these so that the keywords match the web page I'm pointing at. It doesn't have to be the top level page of the site either. It could be some page.html. Whoops. Anything like that is perfectly fine. It'll show up in the link. Now a quick note, if I did not use the http:// if it was not here, then I need to have it there on my index page or it'll be a broken link. So for my var2, I would have to have it here. And that is how completely versatile all this coding is, because these CSV VARs accept coding, and you can make any of that stuff into variables, and you can run the pages out with all of those and see how they look and understand what's going on. I could do it right now very easily by turning off the uploading, saving it, going next, and something I missed. Oh, it's being used by another process. Yeah, you cannot have the CSV file open. I hope I saved that. No, I didn't. Oh, I was going to say you can't have the CSV file open while you do that kind of thing. Insert. I'd have to do this again. var1, var2. var2. Okay, Los Angeles. I'll just do it this way. Alternative energy. And then here was, let's just say some website.com. Okay, because the HTTP is on the actual index page. Then that was var 876, right? Was that? No, it wasn't. It was 874. Wow, I got to look again just to make sure. var 874, right. And what was that? That's where I had options like, and I can do it with commas, is fine. Okay, and so if I did that, I can save this. And yeah, and I could do any number of keywords matched with any number of websites. Since I only have one of each, it doesn't matter if I use brackets or not. It's always just going to be that one and that one. But if I put more in and I want to match them to the web pages, then I can put the brackets on there. Now, if all my keywords are going to point just to the one web page, I only need to put all my keywords here and I could choose to use brackets or not. But if I want correspondence between the keywords in the web pages, then I'd line them up intentionally. You can use copies of the web pages, so you could have that keyword with this web page, some other keyword with another web page, then some other keyword with that web page again, where you had it pasted here as well. And that's perfectly fine. It doesn't hurt anything. Okay? What doesn't work, of course, are blanks. So just be aware of that. Delete shift cells up. Okay, and you can experiment with this on your own anytime because you'll see all the combinations as you work through them. But now that I have that done, let me save it. Yes. Don't save. And let me do this again real quick so you see what we're doing there. Save next and refresh the VARs, and I added the new ones at the bottom. Like I was saying before, it adds them at the bottom. And it should work because I made sure to add all those VARs, and it did, to the page. And so now we can see how those things look. Okay, we didn't upload them, we just produced them locally. But how do they look? This is the one. And so if we go to any page and just see how it looks, let's see what we see. Look at that. Atlanta, comma, GA residence. Okay, that's it. That's what we wanted. That's what exists now because we added that. Okay, this is all the entire whole project is based on, is just putting in the pieces we want. And at the bottom, Los Angeles Alternative Energy points at a link called some-website.com, which doesn't happen to actually be used for much of anything important. And it's forwarded here. Okay, whatever the case is, now you see how you do the double duty on the sites. It comes right off of here, and I could have had this open in a separate link if I wanted, but what difference does it make? No one will click on it most likely. No one will see it most likely. But nonetheless, this is how I get the votes up for another website. So by creating 100 pages here, that's 100 votes for somewebsite.com to show up if someone searches for Los Angeles Alternative Energy. Is that enough to get it boosted to the front page? I doubt it. I think other alternative energy websites out there, serious ones, are targeting Los Angeles and probably have 5,000 backlinks pointing there. So I'd create at least 5,000 backlinks pointing there for my website. You know, that kind of thing. I work these projects up. And then that website will rank. That's the point, the strength, the whole idea. And I could put more backlinks to other websites as well, or other web pages of another website. If these links point to some pages on the same website, the MOWG-affiliate.com website, they're not backlinks. They're links on this website that point to this website. That's what this is, the sitemap link here. But backlinks specifically is where Google wants to know that your somewebsite.com is being linked to on some other website like MOWG-affiliate.com, some other website. And the more of these you create, the better. So that's the idea there, and that's the strength. That's how you add more VARs. That's how you line up the productions with the brackets on the page if you want to do that. And the last piece I need to explain next is going to be adding two tokens that are available for you. One is a project token and the other is a menu token. And when you understand that, you'll see how to create pages in the various project folders with as many submenus as you want so that you can spread the pages out as widely as you want. And this is very good too. That way, instead of Google seeing all these pages show up in one spot, basically one stack of folders, it can see sub-project folders, which is just very nice. Google likes that kind of thing. And that just makes your pages stronger yet. All right, so that'll be the next video.